From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning of Mornings LALATE with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2020, live from Santa Monica, California. As that recon is now in the House of Representatives, sent to the Senate, and the Senate changes will be robust and may be very quick. In the breaking news report you're going to hear today, two analysts from both sides of the political spectrum says they think the recon is going to get done in the next few days. OMG. Those changes that are going in that recon are robust, and you're going to see now 5 of 6 senators want to give you at least 2 multiple IRS stimulus checks. I have all the latest details, breaking news, and exclusives you're going to hear only on this channel on this big morning's broadcast. We'll be turning to those incredible checks that are so far in that recon that pay about $50,000. Then we'll be turning to big money that's available to pay your bills right today. It's third stimulus, and you're going to meet viewers who have in the last 24 hours got to thousands of dollars to pay their bills. You can get it as well. It's third stimulus. Then we'll be turning to that student loan debt forgiveness, the latest offer on that. We'll be looking at fifth stimulus, the latest details on that after that COLA raise. We have breaking news as a new statement from Dr. Fauci about where those travel restrictions may be heading with the latest changes of Omicron. We'll have the latest details on that financial meltdown that happened on Friday that continued into the weekend. What does it mean for you and inflation? And we have the preview of a new show coming to this channel in which I become a little bit more digital. I mean, at least digitally, there's some bacon, isn't there? It's a big morning. I'm excited you're here. There's a lot of breaking news today, my friends, and I'm excited you're here. All those details live on air, direct from Santa Monica, as a big Mornings LA starts right now. Hey, good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a beautiful day. We are in the Senate, an incredible recon, and you're going to learn today that 2 analysts believe that everything that's in the recon, with potentially only 2 provisions, may come out and everything else is staying in there. And we could have a very quick vote in the next few days. Those details breaking today. We'll be going with incredible programs that so far pay you about $50,000, far more than the $15,000 we thought initially. And the push to add in an MSC now coming from 5 of 6 legislators to viewers this channel in the last 7 days. It's huge. We'll be going over the big money that people have gotten, thousands of dollars on average daily from this channel. I have 2 new success stories right in this recording. Student loan debt forgiveness, the latest on that. Fifth stimulus and your COLA raise, the breaking details on that. The latest surprise about that change of the travel restrictions potentially coming after the latest on Omicron. Those surprising details, plus the financial moves that cause the markets to implode because the toast is toasting, the coffee is brewing, and the butter is buttering, and we have a big day today. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers is a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button under this video right now. Like the video and become part of the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America. Consider becoming a member to get that incredible newsletter. It comes out Monday through Friday, and hit that alert system to become part of the LA Alerts. Sign up. It's free. It's underneath the video right today. And with that, let's go into this incredible recon that's going to pay you a lot of money. How much? Well, when we originally looked at the recon, it looked like it was going to be about $15,000, but there's a lot more in there. You're going to see in this recording how it's upwards of about $50,000 to $60,000. It's across several clusters, and we're going to go in the first cluster right now, which is cluster number 1. Hazard pay got in there for my essential workers. 1 more year. $4,000 of elder care got it in there for my elders, and then $4,000 of care for young children. $3,600 for the CTC approximately for 1 more year. $550 checks for the Pell Grant College student recipients. Free home repairs if you live in a low-income community. And then the big surprise, $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle. Wow, this is incredible. How do you get these incredible sums of money? I'm going to show you in just a second. But let's turn to the first add-on, which comes from the illustrious Maxine Waters here from Southern California. She got it in there, and it is money to buy your first home. She wanted $25,000. It got a little bit less. And this, again, is money to buy your home, your first home. How do you get it? It's coming up in just a second. Stay with me. I explain the details. Let's go to cluster number 2. In this cluster number 2, they got in there paid leave, also home repairs. Then they also got in there the child care programs, the household tax credits, the pre-kindergarten. But the weatherizing your home is the big one in that provision, because guess what? It's the winter. It's the winter, and there's always chilly people who show up, and they're just very chilly. And you gotta say, close the window. No, they're weatherized windows. Well, stop eating so much lobster. You'll be actually a little bit warmer. Warm your soul with some $12 ice cream. There you go. Let's go to the second add-on of checks, which comes from the illustrious Bob Casey. And he wanted $250 billion. He got a little bit less. And what is this for? Free home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. Wow, it's incredible. And he wanted $250. He got a little bit less. How do you get this incredible money? It's coming up in just a second. Cluster number 3 got in there, and boy, this is the one we call deliciousness. Seniors and free internet are included. Okay, so what is in this third cluster? Free school meals for all checks, tax break checks, cheaper prescription medication, immigration reform, yes. Then they got in there farmers, they got in there the free internet, the money for the workers, and then the money for the seniors, with 2 items on the House side of Medicare expansion, which truly embodies what we're looking at right now, because the senators vow to add 3 more Medicare expansion provisions. How's this working? Let's look at it. House members got in there the hearing and the Medicaid gap fix. The senators vow to add 3 more Medicare expansions, which are dental, vision, and lowering the Medicare eligibility age, which is consistent with what we're looking at when we're talking about MSC, which stands for multiple IRS stimulus check. Starting the month of July, starting the month of May, actually, we started advocating for its inclusion. And we picked up the phone and we called those 6 senators. And those 6 senators told thousands of viewers over the last few months, it's going in there, 1 or more checks. But once the legislation landed in the Senate, I said, pick up the phone and call again and re-advocate, because now the ball is in their court. And the breaking news, you're only here on this channel, I guess it's exclusive news, I guess you would say, is that 5 of those 6 senators have told viewers of this channel in the last 7 days out of their DC offices that it's going in there. And who are those 6 senators? Well, it started with Janet speaking to Chuck Schumer office on Wednesday before Thanksgiving and being told Chuck Schumer's office is putting it in there via Bernie Sanders. Then Lynn Glenn speaking to Chris Coons' office this last Wednesday and advocating for its inclusion and being told it's going in there. Then Debbie the following day speaking to Liz Warren's office and being told it's going in there. And then on Friday, we had yet another viewer picking up the phone, and his name was Tyrell, and Dwayne Taylor. And he says, I called Casey's office yesterday and was told the same. There you go. That is 5 of 6 senators in the last 7 days saying it's going in there. When they talk about the eligibility, what are they telling viewers? They have said it's going to be the same eligibility as third stimulus check. $75,000 or less, single individual, got it. Annual income. If you made $150,000 or less, married couple, you got it. Double it. Family of 4, quadruple it, have your own benefits. SSI, SSDI, Social Security rural benefits, you got as well. When they talk about the amount, they have often talked about different amounts, but they have spoken routinely about $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for up to 6 months. But you need to advocate because it's an issue of negotiations. That's why it's important to pick up the phone and advocate, because the number 1 senator in the recon, his chief of staff in DC says you need to pick up the phone and advocate. And now is even more important to advocate. Guess what? This channel is the single biggest place in the United States for advocacy for stimulus. And that message from that chief of staff is we need to hear from you. That message at the time was that we had delivered 3 million advocacy calls. We're far in excess of that, folks, now. We're about 5 million. We're the biggest place of advocacy in the United States. This is what the chief of staff told viewers of this channel. They now have in total between congressional senators' offices see more contacts of advocacy from the LA Purple Power than the number of signatures in the American petition. Everyone's amazed by the outpouring of touching stories. Now they have a better understanding of what Americans are going through because the LA because of LA viewers. They have the heartbreaking stories, and they're the voice of the people in LA, as you have become too loud to be ignored. Please continue this continued encouragement and continued advocacy at the professional voice of the people. You have become LA, and continue this LA until this becomes law. Absolutely. So you need to pick up the phone and advocate to the senators. And who do you advocate to? You advocate to Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. You want to pick up the phone and advocate to them because that inclusion is important. Now, what's important to know is that you want to use the telephone more than any other item. You want to use that telephone and pick up the phone and call and speak to their DC office. If it's a weekend, then you want to leave a voice message. Phone is the best. And remember, we have had 5 of 6 senators say it's going in there in the last 7 days. So which is the remaining senator who has not said it, because viewers have not reached him on the phone yet? It is Ron Wyden's office. So make an extra effort to reach out to Ron Wyden's office to advocate for its inclusion. And let's go over those 6 senators again. They are Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. Meantime, give yourself some time to advocate for yourself, because guess what? There is big money available right now under third stimulus. And I'm going to show you in the second half of this video how to get that big money from third stimulus. That big money is available right now. And viewers have gotten thousands of dollars this week. I'm going to show you how to get that big sums of money in the second half of this video. Then we're going to turn to the big money available right now that is available under third stimulus, but the money that's coming under fourth stimulus. The big items coming up in the second half of this video is 2 analysts believe that they think this recon is going to get done in the next few days. OMG. We'll be turning to student loan debt forgiveness by executive order, fifth stimulus, answering your questions about that and that COLA raise. Then we'll be going over to the incredible programs that are in that recon so far. $40,000 to $50,000 of checks for you. The Senate changes that would come on top of that, and that how quickly could they get this recon done? I'll have all those details and more as we go into the second half. But first, here's a little bit about the community page.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now. As Mornings LA continues live from Santa Monica, we're going to go over those incredible set of changes that are coming to that recon and why nearly 90% of the provisions that are in the House bill are likely to stay there. Those are 2 breaking news reports coming out this morning. And the programs that are in that recon pay you a lot of money, $50,000 to $60,000 of checks in that incredible recon. It's huge. Then we'll be turning to the big money that is available today to pay your bills under third stimulus. You're going to meet the viewers who got thousands of dollars just yesterday. Student loan debt forgiveness, the latest on that. Then we'll be turning to the COLA raise and fifth stimulus, those details on that. Then we'll be turning to the breaking news about a change of policy with travel restrictions out of South Africa because of Omicron, and the latest details about those financial changes that came to America because of those jobs report numbers that came out on Friday. plus the debut of a new show coming to this channel in just a few days. Those exciting details in the second half of this video. I'm excited you're here, so make sure you subscribe. I want you to go under this video right now and hit that subscribe button. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member of the #3 most watched financial news channel in America. Hit that membership link so you get that incredible newsletter, and also consider becoming part of the LA Alerts, which is totally free. It is underneath the video, so you get alert when a new video goes live. And with that, let's go into the breaking news starting right now with the latest. First, there's a lot of stuff happening today. We have first a incredible detail that came out at the end of the week was that Joe Manchin had said throughout the week when voting for the debt ceiling limit extension that he was going to vote on in favor of a Republican amendment to take something out of the Democrat legislation. Well, when that debt ceiling limit was extended end of last week to February, Joe Manchin voted with fellow Democrats. That's huge. The other incredible provision, other thing that's coming out today, is a new report that signals that this recon may be done quicker than thought. A brand new report that came out today was featuring analysts by both Republicans and also Democrats. And the report talked about two subject matters. One, will the provisions in the recon stay in there on the Senate side, or will they be gutted? No. They say that only two provisions are in jeopardy. First, paid leave, and then also the SALT cap. Number two, they said would provisions be added? Yeah. And then number three, they said when do they think that's going to be done? They think it's going to be done by Christmas. These are two analysts. They're not politicians. These are analysts. One is a conservative, one is a liberal. And their names are Kyle Pomelo, senior fellow at the American Conservative Institute. And then we had another analyst, Seth Hanlow, who's at the Liberal Center for American Progress. Seth says, I think the chances are very, very good that the bill will pass by Christmas, but I wouldn't bet the mortgage on it, he said. Then Kyle said much the same thing. He says, I believe it's going to pass by Christmas. It seems like a reasonable timeline. And he says, if you bleed it into next year, it causes major issues. Why do they think it's going to be done? This is actually quite fascinating. They think it's going to be done because a lot of the provisions in fourth stimulus are continuations of existing laws under third stimulus, which I cover in this video. And they say it causes problems to have them lapse, so they rather not have them lapse and just have them continued by the fourth stimulus recon. It's incredible. And so get that pen and paper ready, because we're going to go over all those incredible provisions, starting with the first one in this incredible clusters of checks that pay about $50,000 to $60,000 across the board. And the first one is that provision we talked about just a second ago, the paid leave. How much does it pay? It pays a fortune. $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year. $800 a week if you make $35,000 or more per year. $400 a week if you make $15,000 or more per year. How many weeks? Up to 4 weeks per year. Yeah, it's a lot of money. It's upwards of $6,000. And this is for all income levels. Now, if you don't work, but you live with your son or daughter, and they do work, and they take off from work once a week to take you to the doctor, they're going to get the check on behalf of the household. It's incredible. The next provision that we just talked about on the battleground was the SALT cap. This is the SALT cap. Previously, you were allowed to deduct $10,000 on the federal tax return of what you pay and stay in local taxes. They raised it up to $72,500 in this recon of what you can pay and stay in local taxes on that federal tax return. Then they got $40 billion of free job training in this recon, which is huge because millions of Americans are quitting their jobs for higher paying jobs. Now you can. And a lot of seniors want to go back in the workforce because prices are going up. You'll be able to under fifth stimulus. Viewers daily send me private messages asking me about the cheaper medical insurance. Here we go. 12 Republican holdout states did not want to pay for this, and they got a Democratic workaround plan in those states that will provide years of subsidized private insurance to low-income uninsured people in those states. The best provision comes up next that's in this fourth stimulus recon, and you know what it is. It is $150 billion of housing aid. 3 provisions are new, which are weatherize your home, home repairs, and first-time home purchases. But the other three are a repeat from third stimulus. They are rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. And boy, this is very exciting. When third stimulus first was debuted almost exclusively on this channel in December 2020, I had a write-up of what was proposed to go into third stimulus. No one really had it. And I said at the time, I think I can get you $15,000. Then, when it became law, I looked at it again and I said, I think I can get you about $15,000. By early spring, the average view of this channel got $45,000 of checks from third stimulus. But a few weeks ago, I knew the importance of getting your bills paid, and you wanted to get your bills paid. So I brought third stimulus back in this recording, showing viewers, many viewers who had gotten these sums of money before from this channel earlier this year, that you can get another round. And boy, have viewers done incredibly well, like yourselves. They have gotten thousands of dollars on the hour, by the hour from this channel in the last 7 days. So get that pen and paper ready, because I'm going to show you how to get your bills paid right now. This is rent, utilities, mortgages, and more. It's thousands and thousands of dollars of checks. I'm going to start with some new success stories that came in just in the last few hours today. Chef John Meyer tells me today, thank you, LA, you're a true blessing. I got an extra $2,500 of SNAP benefits, and I'm working on utilities. So I believe he got into tens of thousands of dollars of SNAP already. He got an extra $2,500. Here's Deborah, who was in the morning's countdown show this morning at 7 a.m. She said to viewers in the live chat, I just received 6 more months of rent because of you, LA. Thank you, $4,000. It's incredible. The day before that, we had the incredible Lynn Glenn revealing that she got more money. She got 4 more months of rent, and she got rent earlier this year as well. She says, I'm never going to stop watching you. Love you, Lynn Glenn. The day before that, we had the incredible D. Miller, who got approved for 4 more months of rent at $2,800. Shows you can get big sums of rent, $1,200. We had Robin, love Robin's story, got 3 rounds of electric and 3 rounds of gas the same day. How do you get 3 rounds the same day? Stay with me. I'll explain to you in just a second. That same day, we had Madonna, who got 1 round of rent, then another round of rent, and thinks a 3rd round of rent is coming. That's how you do it. Cheney says, I thank you, LA. You're a godsend. She got about $6,000 in the last 2 days. It's incredible across the board. D. Robin says, you're an angel in disguise, LA. Thank you, Robin. I really appreciate that. Then that same day, this week, we had the incredible Darrell. She got 1 round, then a 2nd round, and thinks a 3rd round of rent is coming. And we also had May Lou, who got nearly about $5,000. She got 3 months of nearly $1,000 of rent, plus electric, plus water. I appreciate you so much. You're the best, LA. Love you back, May Lou. We had Scarpia get SNAP. We had Lorica get free wood into 2022, December 2022. That's what pays for heating her home. Melissa Justice getting $10,000 this week. It's incredible. And then we had Jay Grand, who got $5,000 this week and says, I speak for all of us. We love you to death, LA. Love you back, Jay Graham. Chris, I love Chris's story. Why do I love Chris's story? Because he got $10,000 earlier this year from third stimulus. And that was from multiple items, including rent. He heard my recording in the last 7 days and says, I would never have known about this. I would have never known there was another round I can get. And he got it, $5,000 in the last few days from rent and utilities. So get your pen and paper ready. It's time for you to get that money. And if you remember, get the newsletter in front of you, which you get money through Friday. We're going to go over the big money you can get right now. Rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, food, SNAP, and more. And what's important to know is you qualify for it. Red state, blue state, ahead on bills, behind on bills, single, young, old, adult, children without children. There is money. 100%, there is money in every single state. So get ready, and we're going to start with the rent. The rent has gone up a lot. It was $20,000 to $30,000, folks, a few months ago. 3 months ago, this was the graphic on the channel. This was the graphic 3 months ago. Now it's $40,000. And wow, one viewer in one of the live chats 2 days ago revealed he got $38,000 this week, just this week for rent. If you're watching again, please send me a private message so I can feature you live on air. So where do you get this money? Get that newsletter in front of you, or get a pen and paper and start writing this down. You're going to reach out to the following 6 places: City Hall, City House Authority; County Hall, County House Authority; State Hall, and State House Authority. You can always replay this video if you miss anything. The keywords you say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. Here are the 3 musts you must do. Number 1, you must reach out to all 6 places. Number 2, you must get applications in the file everywhere. Number 3, you must get multiple rounds. So if you got a round early this year, get another round today. If you got a round yesterday, get another round today. Next, utilities. Reach out to all your utility companies. If you have 5, reach out to 5. Again, the keywords you can say your utility assistance because of COVID. Do the same thing for mortgage assistance. And Mark's brother-in-law is getting $15,000 for utilities. SNAP. Yes, it's gone up a lot. It went up 25% in October, and now Mark's brother-in-law is getting $25,000 a year. That's $250,000, $250,000 over the next 10 years because he watched this channel. What is SNAP? It is money for food. If you got a third stimulus check, you should be on SNAP. You qualify. Get your money for food from Department of Agriculture today. Next, combo items. It started with Nisi and Art Sullivan about 3 months ago. They got 3 items. And at the time I said, do what Nisi and Art did. Get 3 items or more. Mark was at 2 items at the time, 32,000. 2 items at 32. I said, Mark will get the third. He did. Brought himself to 50,000. Now Mark's at over 100,000. Lorraine, she was at 105, and now she's at 120. And this last week, one viewer in the live chat, if this was you, send me a private message because I want to feature you as well, because it happened really quickly, said he got $135,000 this last week for himself and his family. That is the largest payout I have ever been able to get any family for a recon payout to date. Insane. Again, $135,000 for one family this last week, which turns us to the incredible story of Johnny. Different person. Johnny has a 3-part story. Part 1 of Johnny's story started several weeks ago when he was at $0 and he was listening to this channel. And by the middle of the week, he and 2 other viewers that don't even know each other got 3 programs approved. $45,000 in 3 days. Very, very wonderful news. But Johnny hears my recordings very clearly where I say, do not stop. Keep on getting additional rounds if they're around. And he did. By the weekend, Johnny got 7 programs approved. Now, why do I like part 1 of the story? I like it because Johnny clearly made 15 phone calls. You're going to have 30% no's, 40% no's, 50% no's. You're going to have some no's. And Johnny had to have made 15 phone calls to have 7 yeses. He had to have at least 6 no's or 7 no's. I love it. He got 7 yeses, 7 programs approved, and $80,000 in 5 days. For any viewer that sporadically pops in the live chat and doesn't really follow the videos and says, I called one place and got a no, what am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get no's. You're also going to get some yeses. Part 2 of Johnny's story started the following Monday. He reached out to his family members and said, I got $80,000 last week from LALATE. They said, I heard about him, LALATE. So what did LALATE get you the money for? He said, third stimulus. They said, Johnny, I haven't heard about this in broadcast media. Why haven't I heard about this? He says, they don't cover it. He covers it. Let me show you how to get it. So they watched the videos, they watched this channel, and they went from non-believers, those 2 family members, to believers by the end of the week. They each got $50,000. The landscape in America right now is that LA is the number 3 most watched financial news channel. But I don't cover some of the other subjects on the number 1 and 2 channels, like SPACs. SPACs? Who's a SPAC? What's a SPAC? Is that a SPAC? I don't cover SPACs. You're never going to hear them on this channel. They cover that, and they don't cover this. So this is the channel you want to tune into for this subject matter, which is called Geopolitical News, the most in-depth coverage of the subject matter you're going to see anywhere except here on LA. Let's turn to part 3 of Johnny's incredible story, which came in last Sunday. I was watching Sunday Night Football in a restaurant, and I saw a private message come in on Instagram. It was Johnny. He said, hey, LA, I have an update for you. I said, what, Johnny? He said, well, people kept on coming over the house and asking me what I was doing. And I told them I was helping people with getting money from watching your channel, LA. I said, oh, really? He said, what? I said, what happened, Johnny? He said, it snowballed, LA. I ended up helping 32 people. This is Johnny. Johnny says he helped 32 people. I said to Johnny, how much did you get those 32 people, Johnny? He said, $850,000. Johnny got $850,000 by showing view 32 people that were coming over his house, this channel, watching the videos together on this channel, taking notes and applying the information and getting them $850,000. You can get this money as well. So consider becoming a member today. The membership link is under the video. So you get that membership newsletter Monday through Friday that features incredible money. There's 6 places you want to reach out to. There's 5, the 3 must-dos. The 5 nonprofits that have money also for small appliances, for small nominal home repairs, and also help with some of these other items for different eligibility. The money from Treasury and learning that incredible money about what it is before making the phone call. The reason why members of this channel do so well is they follow exactly what I say in these recordings. People who do a version of what I say in these recordings, it doesn't usually work out. So get that incredible money, and congratulations to these people, their success stories. If you have a success story as well, send it to me on private message. Let's go right back into forced stimulus where we left off. And we were looking at the housing provision. The 3 new housing provisions in that forced stimulus recon are the following. The first one is The home repairs. This is for people in a low-income community. The next one is for weatherize your home. All type of homes we're being told at the moment. And finally, first-time home purchases. This would be given to the seller at the time of escrow in your name for the federal government. Now let's turn to two new cast members on this channel, and boy, are they incredible. One and another, and they like to sing, apparently. The first one is her name, Simplistic Sally, and the second one is called Voting Victoria. Victoria is trying for American Idol, and Simplistic Sally is trying for The Voice. So what are their deals? So let's go over the details of them. Voting Victoria, Voting Victoria, her spiel is she likes to always ask, when are they voting? Are they voting today? Are they voting tomorrow? Here's what's important for you to know, is that for a bill to become a law, it needs to be passed by the House and passed by the Senate. In the case of the forced stimulus recon, it's been passed by the House. It is now in the Senate. But when you look at a 3,000 plus page bill, you may see a provision and say, I want to give this money to the American people, but I want to give it to more Americans than the way it's written, or the way it's written excludes too many Americans. I need to change some of the language. And that is what involves legislating. You look at a provision, you still want to do it, but you want to change some of the language. So if Chuck Schumer comes knocking your door, you're going to say, Chuck, I have a problem with this provision. We need to change some of the language. And Chuck Schumer is the person who calls the vote, will know not to call the vote because you're going to say no until they change the provision. And that's what's important. What's important to understand is that legislators need to make changes, and when those changes happen and they're finished, then they call the vote. With a 3,000 page bill, we're not talking about 3,000 days, but we're also not talking about 3,000 minutes or 3,000 seconds. It takes a few moments to change language to make sure it's correct. Then Simplistic Sally. Simplistic Sally starts every sentence with, well, basically. Unfortunately, in the case of legislators, you can't make things so basically. So there was a person in the live chat this morning. She was a very nice person. She said, how many more steps do we have, LA, till the money goes out? Can't answer that question. We don't know. Why? Because there may be an LALATE senator who will look at the next provision you and I are going to go over in just a second and say, Chuck, I have a problem with the language. We need to change this language before you call the vote. That's a step. So I don't know how many people need to modify language, and it's not a day per person or a week per person. It's just an item that has to be done. And so it's not always some simplistic. Let's apply those two characters now to the next provisions. $150 billion of in-home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. That's pretty easy. The $550 check for the college student, the Pell Grant, that's easy. But the next provision, this is where Senator LLA would say, Chuck, don't call the vote. I need to change something here. Let's go over what's at issue. The first part, I have no problems with. I think it's wonderful. What is it? $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle. If you went into a dealership in 2019 and looked at a window sticker, it would have said $30,000 minus $7,500 federal tax rebate, which means at the cash register in the dealership, you need to pay $30,000. Then file tax return, then wait, and then the refund check comes in the mail, $7,500. That's not this provision. This provision means you get the discount when you buy the car. You go in and it's going to say $30,000 minus $12,500. You pay $18,000 at the cash register. That's great. I love it. I have no changes there. It's the next provision in this section I would change if I was a senator. Tell Chuck, don't call the vote. I need to change this language. What's wrong with the language? In my opinion, it violates U.S. trade policies between U.S., Mexico, and Canada. And I think it's going to be ruled unlawful if you put it into law. There's a law that says you cannot discourage the products made in Canada to encourage them bought in the United States and vice versa. And that's exactly what this language does. Let's use an example. The Cadillac Lyriq, an electric SUV, and the Ford Mustang Mach-E, also an electric SUV. What's at issue? First, this provision says the car must be made by a U.S. auto manufacturer. They both qualify. Cadillac is GM and Ford is Ford. Then it must be an electric car. They're both electric cars. Third, they must be made by unionized labor. They both qualify. The Ford is made by Ford unionized labor, and the Cadillac is made by Cadillac or GM unionized labor. So what's the problem? The Ford is made in Mexico. The Cadillac is made in Tennessee. The Ford disqualified. If I was a senator, I'd say, Chuck, don't call the vote. Change this provision and get it done. And he'd have to ask other people, say, yeah, we need to change the provision. It doesn't work here. And that's how legislating works. They got in there $65 a month per student when they're not in school for nutrition. And then we get to the best provisions we got, which is cheaper medication. Cheaper medication day one. They're going to drop the most expensive medication like cancer, arthritis, and diabetes, Medicare Part B, Medicare Part D, dramatically. Like an insulin dose will go $1,000 or $35 overnight. And then they'll start with 20 medications on day one, grow it to 30 medications by 2028, which cannot increase more per year than the rate of inflation. And if they do, there's a penalty provision. Penalty provision. Hold up, says Pat Toomey, the Republican senator. You can't put a penalty provision in a recon. If it was Senator LALATE, I would say as well, I don't think you can put a penalty provision in a recon. It has to go out. That is an example of where changes happens. Now, in this case, there's someone else that could make the change, and that is the Senate parliamentarian. She's a nonpartisan person who's going to look at that provision and likely take it out. She's also likely to take out the immigration reform, which is in the recon. She previously ruled it cannot go by a recon. And then she's going to decide the issue of paid leave. Many think she's going to remove it. Joe Manchin this week said, I will vote against the recon if the paid leave is in there. Calling his bluff, we don't know, but if she takes it out, then it makes it simple. Now remember, if she takes out a provision like immigration reform, then it frees up the money, and that money can be used for stuff like like an MSC. Well, what's important to understand is that of those 6 senators who want to give you an MSC, they all say it's a good bill, best bill since the 1950s, but with major gaps missing in there. So they want to add a lot more checks to this recon. And when you look at this graphic, $15,000, you and I know by now it's not $15,000. It's like $50,000 to $60,000 of incredible checks you're going to get in this incredible recon. Why? Because we've already gone over the add-ons from Maxine Waters and the car. We went over all the items from third stimulus, the repeated $45,000. Plus 15, that's 50. Plus we have the Senate changes that go on top of that. Yeah, there's a lot of checks in there. And that's why it's important to advocate to those legislators, because they want to add a lot more in there in addition to that MSC. Again, you want to advocate to Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. Meantime, get that pen and paper ready because we're going to go over some more checks in that incredible recon. And here we go with some more checks in that recon that starts with the universal pre-K. This is 1 year of checks front end. They got the child care credit. This is a back end check 1 year. The CTC, $3,600 a front end check. The earned income credit, which is for hazard pay, back end 1 year. They got the home health care covered benefit, and they got in there the hearing, which is a check, and we've already went over the housing, the Pell Grant, and the nutrition. So what are the provisions that Bernie would add to this? Well, Bernie would add an MSC and also 3 extensions of Medicare. And those details are incredible. Let's go over them right now. First one is he wants to drop the eligibility age of Medicare from 65 to 55. I don't know if he can get it there, but Bob Casey wants to do it to 60. Then Bernie wants to put in there 10 years of full benefits for dental. I think that's too expensive. He offered 3 years of full benefits for dental. I think that works for my Medicare recipients. Finally, he wants a pair of frames and a pair of eye exams per year. I think that's possible. Send it out as a check. And it's very simple, unless you're talking about frame wars. That's coming back to the channel in just a few days. Now let's turn to, for just a detour for a second before we come back to Fourth Stimulus Recon, to student loan debt. This would go by executive order. There is a $10,000 offer from the president to forgive an additional $10,000 of student loan debt. Democrats should take it. The president already forgave student loan debts for individuals who are disabled, individuals who went to work in the nonprofit sector, and the public sector 10 years after graduation. Fifth stimulus and COLA raise. A lot of questions. Even this morning, someone had some very good questions. So I'm going to answer them on air again, some more right now. COLA raise and fifth stimulus are 2 different instruments. Let's go over COLA raise slowly first. Your benefits are automatically already going up January 1, 5.9%. It's law. So if you haven't received the letter describing this, no worries. It's going up. The letter is a by the way. It's exactly 5.9% for everyone. You don't have to do anything. It's automatic. And it's January 1, but in the case of some veterans, they're seeing it appear in December. COLA is the current benchmark. COLA raise in January is not fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus is something different. Fifth stimulus would come right behind this as a body of legislation to fix the problems of COLA, which is it keeps you undervalued. You should have been getting much more money over the many years. So what are they looking to do under fifth stimulus? They're looking to remove COLA as the benchmark the next time they use a benchmark, which will be December 2022, and starting in December 22, using inflation going forward, which is helpful because inflation will be 2 to 3% every year starting at that year. They're going to remove the asset cap, remove the income cap, and remove the marriage penalty also under fifth stimulus. And they want to raise your benefits up one big time to get you caught up for all these years you have been undervalued. There you go. Meantime, a lot of other breaking news I want to go over that's very, very important. And one of them starting right now is the very, very big confusion about what's going on with those comments by Dr. Fauci this morning. Very, very confusing across the board. The President of the United States, just days after Thanksgiving, announced a travel ban barring certain travel into the United States for non-U.S. citizens from South African countries. The President of the United States at that time said the travel ban was to buy time to learn about the elements of Omicron. It has been about a week and a half, 2 weeks since then. And what has happened since then? We still don't know about Omicron. So this morning on broadcast media, Dr. Fauci said that the White House is considering easing of those travel restrictions. I just don't know how that makes sense. I just don't understand how that makes sense. You put in travel restrictions so you can learn, get some data, and we don't have the data still. And now we're talking about easing the restrictions. It makes no sense. Now, on a separate note, there are restrictions that have been put in place in the last few days by the White House for U.S. citizens traveling from Europe to the United States, for example. And what I got to say is that those travelers are all over news today, and they're saying it's so confusing, no one can figure it out. I'm not going to try to explain it because I can't figure it out. Basically, they have to test at one point. What type of test? It's too confusing to even explain on air. And they're saying things like, okay, I'm flying from Germany with a stopover in France and then to New York. Do I have to retest in France? I don't even know. No one's even explained it to me. So it's really confusing. So the president needs to get on board and figure out how to make this clear right off the bat. Next, let's go over the financial news that came in Friday that is really still imploding today and has been imploding all weekend and will implode all next week. Let me explain this because this is very important to you. Every month, there's a new number released called the jobs number. And usually we talk about the top line number, the marquee number of the jobs number, which is the number of jobs created. But there are other numbers in the report that are released every month. The numbers came out on Friday, and the jobs number was poor. That was not the big issue. The big issue were the other numbers below that. They were insanely strong, really good numbers, not good numbers, wonderful numbers, numbers so wonderful that no one saw this coming. And that's why Wall Street stock market crashed dramatically, down 1,000 points. Then crypto down 30% a coin on Saturday, the worst cryptocurrency crash we have ever seen, and it could continue. What is going on? Let me explain it to you. First, the unemployment number was resoundingly incredible. It showed the lowest unemployment number since 2019. Number two, it showed the strongest job participant number since 2019. What is job participant number? These are people who are sitting on the weights on the sideline, not participating in the labor market. Maybe because they were on FPC, maybe because they were worried about Delta. It showed them going back into the labor workforce in the record numbers. Third was the number of unemployed people among Latinos and African Americans fell dramatically, the best numbers we've seen in a long time. And finally, the labor rate went down and eased, meaning you did not have to pay more for that labor to come back in the workforce. Why is this beneficial to you? It shows that inflation is tapering off. Inflation is caused by supply chain issues. And this shows the supply chain is turning the other direction. Supply chain means you have not enough truck drivers to get in the truck to drive the goods. And you got to pay more for the truck drivers to get in the truck to drive the goods. Now you got enough truck drivers because people are coming back in the labor workforce. The unemployment number of truck drivers is dropping, and you don't have to pay more for them. Meaning the goods that are sold in the department store and the supermarkets are going to come down price as well. But why did the stock market crash? And why did crypto crash? And why is the situation going to get very, very nerve-wracking between now and December 15th? And you got to stay with this channel. Because on December 15th, the Federal Reserve is going to meet. And most analysts, including myself, are saying that unless Omicron turns worse, which at the moment it has not, The Federal Reserve on December 15th is going to say, you know that number last Friday? It was so strong, we have to do more aggressive tapering, which is removing their Federal Reserve support, and get ready for 2 interest rate spikes next year sooner because this economy is running too hot. And that is a risk that stock owners did not see. That is why the stock market crashed. Why did crypto crash? Because crypto crashes when the stock market crashes. And I've been teaching viewers that since day one on the cryptocurrency shows on this channel. And when we saw that concern about about interest rate spikes, crypto took a big hitting. And there you go. Meantime, I'm very excited for a new show coming to this channel. You have never seen anything like it. You see this version of me with a different shirt and, maybe a different flower behind me. But have you seen an animated version of me? Oh, you have not? Well, I am going into the metaverse and I'm taking you with me on a new show coming to this channel you've never seen anywhere in broadcast media or YouTube channel. It's a 2-sided show, both in real life and also in the metaverse. I will be going into the metaverse, and this is me, and you'll see my alter ego taking you into a new land where you can make money and interact with other people. And I'll show you the opportunities to make money as a side gig or as a business owner, as an employee or as a creative individual. I'm going to show you what the metaverse means and how you can interact with your Purple Power friends, just like I was interacting with friends in this one stop the other day. It's the metaverse, and it's coming to this channel in just a few days. Meantime, I've been appreciating all your support and excitement for that new Sirloin Javita Light Blaine 66 show. It's coming to this channel shortly. It is a new comedy special. Meantime, every day on this channel has been the new hit show. It's called Holidays. It's at 11 a.m. and it features all the incredible holiday decor that you think in the second half. But the first half is all about your recon. First, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe. The link is under the video right today. I want you part of this incredible family, and I don't want you to miss any videos because you see how the situation is even robust on a day like this where we're running long on time. Subscribe, like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member so you get incredible newsletter that comes out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Also, sign up for those LALATE alerts, which are totally free under this video, so you get alert when breaking news happens or a new video goes live. And here again is that show that is coming up in just, 45 minutes from now. It is Holidays LALATE, daily at 11 o'clock. And join me next on Holidays as LALATE.